Commissioner has chosen to do nothing about it, having failed to interview any local person or foreigner as far as he was aware. He Gibbs sat on his hands, and he's doing that not because he doesn't know how to proceed with police investigations, but because he's pandering to the political directorate, and he's sending the signal that certain persons are too big for the police to interfere with them, Rowley charged. The opposition leader said that in the meantime, FIFA has proceeded with an investigation, collected incriminating evidence, and suspended people. Meanwhile, Dr. Rowley has called for the resignation of the National Security Minister amid concerns over the state of emergency that was imposed on August 21st. Dr. Rowley says Brigadier Sandy misled the nation when he said he requested the state of emergency to avert a major crisis. Dr. Rowley says recent sentiments by Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar contradict Brigadier Sandy's reasons for requesting the measure.
It is inconceivable that the Minister of National Security could have information of this type to make that kind of comparison, to give the impression that he was averting a particular development, and the Prime Minister comes out after to say, I know of no such plot. We call for the resignation of the Minister.
Trinidad's opposition leader, Dr. Keith Rowley. Over now to Jamaica, where, according to the Jamaica Information Service, ministry paper giving details of the signing of the operational police and maritime agreements between the governments of Jamaica and Cuba was tabled in the Senate on September 30th by Minister of National Security, Senator Dwight Nelson. The agreements are aimed at helping to strengthen bilateral and multilateral relationships to ensure effective cross-border efforts in combating drug trafficking and other forms of organized crimes. According to the ministry paper, a formal structured relationship between the Cuban and Jamaican law enforcement entities is likely to improve the flow of information and intelligence, which in turn will improve the fight against organized crime, particularly efforts to combat the illicit trade in small arms and drugs. This increased information and intelligence flow is intended to allow enforcement entities in Jamaica and Cuba to foresee trends in reference to drug trafficking and organized crime, identify the leaders and the key elements of criminal organizations, and to identify potential weak points and informants. The agreements were signed during a visit to Cuba by Nelson on September 9th. In more news out of Jamaica, Jamaica's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister, Dr. Kenneth Moore, has voiced his disagreement with Prime Minister Bruce Golding's address to the nation on Sunday. Dr. Moore is not of the opinion that Mr. Golding's suggestion that the older members of the political parties make way for younger leadership is the answer. While the main contenders likely to replace Mr. Golding as Jamaica Labour Party leader and Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Dr. Christopher Tufton are both under 45, Dr. Moore, who expressed an interest in the position, is 70 years old.
I respectfully disagree with